Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Damn Fine TV Happy Hour. I'm Jasmine, and I just got to wait for my lovely co-host, Mells, to come and join me. Hey, Amelia. Okay. Yes. Hey, Robins. Oh, hi, Peter Sniper. Hey, Mells.
Hi!
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I got something in my
Good.
eye right before I hit live, so that should be fun.
Of course.
Yeah.
That happens all the time,
Ugh,
right?
yeah, perfect timing.
So what you been up to? So good to see your beautiful face.
It's so nice to see yours too. Well,
Oh,
I mean, to be honest, I've been watching Twin Peaks and like thinking about all things Twin Peaks this week. A little
same
bit of Dead
here.
to Me, I guess, because we're going to talk about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so
I
excited to
sprinkled,
record with you tomorrow.
oh, me too. I cannot wait. I sprinkled some Dead to Me into my Twin Peaks. So,
Nice. Yeah.
keeping it current. Try to keep it current.
A little bit here and there, you know? Yeah. I mean, it's not so bad. The Twin Peaks we're talking about came out in 2017, so it's only 3 years
Yeah.
behind.
Well, it's all new to me, and that's what
Exactly.
matters, right?
Exactly. All right, so cheers. What are you having tonight?
At Rose yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Doop, what are you having?
I am having a beer from a local brewery.
Oh,
It's like
nice.
it's a pomegranate sour,
Oh, that
which
sounds
sounds kind of gross, but it's
delicious.
actually really yummy.
Oh, that sounds delicious to me. So that tells you where
Yeah.
my tastes lie.
Oh, I mean, I find it delicious. I'm very surprised that I'm into sour beers. I never thought that would be a thing for me, but
I've
you
only tried
know.
a couple of those from local like breweries in like Texas. I haven't had one here yet, but I surprisingly like them as well. But pomegranate, mwah, I love pomegranate. So I
Mm.
have to look for something like that.
Yeah, yeah, you should give it a try.
Yeah.
Okay, your cup. I meant to ask you last week. Is it like a sippy cup or just like a tumbler?
Well, it would be a sippy cup. Now it's a wine sippy cup, basically. It's a tumbler, but I like to
Yeah.
call it a sippy cup.
I mean, I think that's smart. That's like it's just efficient wine drinking, I think.
Hey, you know
No
what? I'm a
math.
pro. That's right. It's a sippy cup for adults. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
So
All
what you
right.
been up
Well,
to?
like I said, just watching TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Just
I
staying
mean,
safe.
yeah, exactly. Staying inside, turning the TV on, sometimes podcasting,
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Here
here
and
and there.
there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, so let's talk about Dead to Me.
Yes.
So first 5 episodes. You just got finished with episode 5, right?
I did. Okay, so I have to tell this story. I was super like into it and everything like that. And so was on episode 5 today and I got sidetracked and I totally spaced. And then I knew I had about 10 minutes left in the episode. And then when you and I started chatting, I was like, oh my gosh, I never finished episode 5. So it's fresh in my mind. I just finished it. And wow, I am loving season 2. I loved season 1 so much. And I zipped right through it because they're 30-minute
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
And so when I knew season 2 was coming, I couldn't wait. I was so excited. And now that it's here, I'm just like, wow, I'm blown away. It's such a good second season, such a good follow up.
Well, okay, so at first, honestly, I was a little nervous for the first couple of episodes. Because they introduced a twin and it felt
Yeah.
a little tropey. It felt like a little soap opera-y. And,
Yeah.
like the whole thing with Jen and Judy, like last season, it was Judy keeping the secret. This season, it's Jen keeping the secret. So I was worried that it was going to be like just more of the same.
Yeah.
And like, how long could they keep it up? But honestly, after episode 5, like, I'm 100% all in again. I think it's
Yeah.
so good. And I think like what makes like you introduce a twin and it does seem a little cheesy, like the twin of a dead person, right? But
Yeah.
I think what grounds everything is Linda Cardellini, Christina Applegate. Like their chemistry is amazing.
Yeah.
And
You know, here's the other thing I was worried about is that like it was going to be just a funny second season of something. There was going to be no consequences, no stakes. They were just, and I mean, it is funny. There's still definitely lighthearted, cutesy moments. But
Yeah.
I mean, even in episode 5, when Judy has that breakdown in the bathroom,
Yeah.
it like
Man.
really broke my heart. And that felt really heavy and emotionally resonant. And like, I think that really helps to ground all the sort of outlandish twin stuff.
Oh, for sure. Well, and it was so real, and it was so
Yeah.
raw. And
Yes.
in that moment, I felt for her so much. And I was like, wow. I mean, um, this should not be a surprise to anyone. I cry very easily, but I was almost like misty-eyed and almost
Yeah.
shed tears because I was like, wow. I mean, I've never like gotten that emotional, but I have gotten to a point before in my life where I've been like so feeling like I messed something up so much to where, you just think you can never do anything right, And that's what I love about the
Yeah.
show is that they take such real elements, especially PTSD or with Judy, she's been in not such great situations in her life. And it really comes out in moments like that where she thinks that she's really messed something up and she's extremely hard on herself. And it's sad to watch.
Yeah. It is really sad to watch. And I think, okay, so Judy does cry a lot. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. When I see Jen break down, that's especially, like, that's a scene that especially gets to me because she doesn't break down as often, right? So
Yeah.
same episode though, in episode 5, like after she gets the chiropractic work done, like,
Right.
which is so funny. But
I'd
then
follow
it
you.
turns and it's so emotional. And like, that's the scene that had me crying, honestly.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
It was moving. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, back to the twin thing. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So when the doorbell rang and it was, foolishly, I still call him Teddy, even though he is not.
In my notes, this is where Teddy's been.
I know, like Teddy was not anywhere in season 3 because he was
Yeah.
doing dead to me. But I'm like, all right, so either this is a twin angle or they didn't actually kill Steve. And I guess we should have prefaced spoilers on this, but anyway, it doesn't matter now. Like they didn't kill
That's
Steve.
the first episode, though. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And they didn't kill Steve, and all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh shit, how are we going to get around the fact that we didn't actually kill Steve? But then once you get more of the story, like, oh, he's in a freezer, and oh, no, he's really dead. Then you're just like, wow, the twin angle, it felt messy at first, but I'm kind of liking it because it's a good polar opposite of Steve.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works, because sometimes that can be super cheesy.
Oh, 100%. That's why I was worried. But I also think it's like, you might as well keep James Marsden in the show, Teddy. Sorry. Like, I mean, whatever. They came up with a way for him to stay. I'm kind of here for it. And I'm with you. Like, when the doorbell first rang, I was like, of course, because this unknown caller that had been, like, constantly calling Judy, I was like, this feels like Steve something. Like, something is not as it seems here, but I don't know. So there's no way that's Steve, we think.
No, I don't think
way.
so. No. Well, especially because Jen and Judy had the dialogue where she was like, I didn't think it was important to tell you that he had the twin. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, oh man, it's so good though. Like, it was really hard for me, even though it was only like a few minutes before we started this live, for me not to be like, oh, I need to see the first like 5 minutes of the next episode. But I was like, no time. I don't have
Oh my gosh. I'm just imagining a text from you like, sorry, can't go live because I'm actually just going to watch more of Dead to Me.
Yeah, I'm going to be like 10 minutes late. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine. You just banter for like 10 minutes. I'll be there soon.
Yeah. If you keep it going, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Sure.
But yeah,
oh my gosh,
I'm loving
so glad
it.
you had. Go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm loving it, and I'm really glad, and I'm super excited about the second half of the season. I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Me too. And episode 5, I won't say anything about how it ended, but it ended on such an intense note. You're so right about like, it was so hard to stop that episode and like not keep going. But
oh man,
yeah.
That's the marker of a good season too, I feel like. Like when you get to the midway point, if you're still vested in wanting to see the rest of the season, because we've talked about this before with like a favorite show of ours is American Horror Story, right?
Mm.
And it either starts off slow and picks up after, or it has a lot of action and a lot of good stuff happening in the beginning and tapers off in the end. And I feel like this is not going to happen with this show. It's going to actually have a great second half of the season as well, which is what I'm excited about.
I think so too. And I was looking up photos to use to just say like, hey, join us tonight for our live. Like we might not drink as much as Jen and Judy because my God, the drinking.
Yeah.
But as I was searching, I saw an article and I just saw the headline that said how they pulled off that twist. And so I'm wondering if it was the twist from the first episode, but I think probably there's something else on the way.
There's got to be. There's
Yeah.
got to be, because that twist was so early that I don't
Yeah.
feel like. Also, and I have to really catch myself on the internet because there's been a few things with Twin Peaks that I've been like, oh, click out. I don't need to see that. I'm not there yet. But I did see, because I wanted to see how many episodes were in season 2 so we could figure out where we wanted to kind of stop for this.
Oh, gotcha.
And I saw an article that someone written where they were like, and what about that cliffhanger? And I was like, click. Okay, 10 episodes. That's all I need to know. Let me get out of here right now.
Well, that's exciting. I am looking forward to the other 5 episodes. Yeah. Okay, but I really liked episode 5. And I mean, I don't know if I'm just like biased because it had a lot of astrology talk, but finding out that Jen is a Scorpio was just like, I paused and I just like took a moment and was like, yes, 100%. She's definitely a Scorpio. I feel this deeply. It's perfect.
I knew you would be into that. As soon as
Yeah.
I got to that part, I was like, oh, this is Jasmine. She's going to love this.
And the question that Michelle asks Judy, like, I don't remember the exact wording, but she's like, do you think crystals are just rocks, or do you think that they're like magic or created by magical beings or something? And Judy was like, I know they're created by magical beings.
I loved that. I really did.
It was so
You're right.
funny.
Episode 5, it was a really, really solid episode all the way through. Like I didn't catch myself looking away even though I got sidetracked, but that's a different story. That was just life happening. But I was just super into it from start to finish. And that, again, that's a good marker of a good episode. So that's what gives me a lot of hope as well.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, those two together, like Linda and Christina Applegate, like they're just so amazing. They have such good chemistry. Their physical comedy together, like when they are trying to cover up something that they've done and they just do that like muttering stuff and they're both muttering something different and then they try to overlap and say the same thing and then they both say what the opposite person was. It's so funny. They have such good timing. I love watching the two of them together.
It's great because there was in the one episode, and I think it might have been the first one, when I think Henry is the youngest son, maybe, or because there's Christopher, I think, and Henry. But anyways, when he was like, why is the tarp over the pool? And they're like, there was a dead squirrel dog. I think it was ready to end his life. That was just comedic gold to me.
It's so good.
And they don't even have to look at each other. They're just like, oh, yeah, no, okay. Anyway, do you want this to go?
Exactly. That's the exact muttering that I'm talking about. They're so good at that stuff. Or like, I think it's again in episode 5, the stuff with Jen's back brace. And when Ben comes in, she's just trying to slowly take off the back brace and it's just like making that awkward Velcro noise. But Christina Applegate just nails the timing of it. It's so good.
She's wonderful. And I loved it too, where she was like, no, I don't want you to adjust me. No, I'm fine. And then when she's sitting in a chair and she's like, oh, and he's like, no, just let me do it. And she's like, no.
So now you're reminding me of fucking Karen, the nosiest neighbor, the worst neighbor in the whole world. And okay, I actually came up with some questions based on the first 5 episodes that I wanted to ask you.
Let's go.
One of them has to do with Karen. Now, I'm lucky enough, I've never really had neighbors that I've interacted with too much where it got to this level of nosiness. But have you ever had like a nosy Karen?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Can you tell us like anything about her or him?
Well, she was incredibly sweet. This is when we lived in Georgia, and she was an older lady, but she was Karen, let me speak to your manager, like to the max, just in everything that we did. Like if we washed our car, she would come out and say, I don't know, are you using too much water? And it's like, lady, I'm washing a car. And then one time we had like a little fire pit, I guess, and it was on our front like porch area. And these were in townhomes, but it was fine. It wasn't a like she acted like it was a flame at like Burning Man or something. It was literally just a small contained like fire pit that you put your hands over and warm them up. And she came over and says, "Oh, that's a fire hazard." And I'm just like, Carrot, her name was not Carrot, it was Joyce. But I was like, Carrot, get back on your side of the fence, okay? Like, enough. And she was precious, but I was just like, I've had enough of this lady, all right? She's got to go.
Oh, man. So just nosy like that, then. I mean, she's never, like, ratted you out for a big crime or anything. But, I mean, not that Karen has done that yet, but...
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that it's going to start leaning towards there might be some blackmail involved, because now that Jen and Judy both know about her husband, then if she does keep on with, but that was the guy that was over here, or I have the video footage, you know, I think Jen's probably going to use that in some way to either get it erased, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, that's what I would be doing. I would be like, look, I've got some news for you, but I'm not going to give it to you unless you erase all of this footage.
Yeah.
Maybe that tells my character, though, where I'm willing to break someone's heart to save my own ass.
I mean, listen, if you're in that deep, though, I don't know. And it's your kids, too. Like, your husband's gone. Your kids are going to be on their own. It is a whole big thing.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so Tyler is saying the worst neighbor, and I'm wondering why you're asking that, Tyler. So let us know.
Is it Tyler? Has he been the worst neighbor you've ever had?
Oh my God.
He lives in your house.
The worst work at home neighbor. I'm kidding. He's lovely.
Oh, I know he is. He really is.
Yeah. I banished him to the basement for at home working, so it's fine.
That's good. Good idea. Like, Scott has been in the same room as me, which has been proven to be a tad bit difficult.
Oh,
okay,
wow,
let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because you guys have like at least decent space where you feel like you have your own little cubicle.
Yeah. Like we have an open concept like downstairs, and so he's on one side, I'm on the other, but still nonetheless, like when he takes his meetings, he doesn't go into another room, and I'm like, hello, I don't want to hear all about all your financial, it's like that meme with all the, you know, I'm like, the math is going everywhere, and I don't like it, so.
You don't need that.
I don't need that in my life, okay?
Tyler says we've had some bad ones. Okay, Tyler, elaborate, because I don't think we've had, I mean, you haven't seen Dead to Me, so you don't know how bad and annoying Karen is. And yes, I feel bad for her because the whole thing with her husband, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
That does not negate how annoying she is, though. I will put it that
orange
way.
Wine, too. Have you ever had that?
No, and I'm going to be honest, but it doesn't even sound appealing. So every time I hear it, I'm like, get out of here with that orange wine.
It's
like,
such a Karen wine, orange wine.
And of course her name is Karen, right?
I know. I know. I wish she was, I mean, I'm glad that there's like a person of color in the show, but I'm also mad that she's Karen. Like it should be a white woman. Yeah.
We need a white woman Karen, that's for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So another question from the show, I gotta know, and if there's any ladies in the audience, have you seen Scarface?
Oh, I've seen it a million plus.
Okay, you have?
Times. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to do like a little survey because Jen and Judy have that conversation, and Jen's like, no chicks have seen Scarface. Of course you haven't. Like,
I've seen it a million times.
I have never
But I
seen
will. I do want to say that you've never seen it.
No.
Okay. I want to say this. The first time I saw Scarface was like when I met Scott. So on my own, I was never watching Scarface, but he's really into like gangster movies, I guess is the only way. It's like Goodfellas, Casino, Scarface, all of those. And so, yeah, like once I married him and movies started being on like repeat, it was like, oh, okay, I get it, and I
I'm good
like
on that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's a good movie. So
Okay, fair enough. I like that, Amelia, you haven't seen it not in one sitting. So have you seen the full thing, but you've just had to take like multiple rounds?
it's long.
Lisa, too tough.
It's long. I can see that happening for sure.
Oh, yeah. Those just aren't my style of movies, but I thought that was pretty funny, that line about like no women have seen Scarface. So I
Yeah.
had to ask.
And I was like, oops, one here.
Well, I guess you're the exception and not the rule, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do that with many classic films. Okay, yeah.
Oh, some classic films you do have to consume in more than one sitting. Like you have to take some breaks, you have to process what is going on, and then you come back to it. So I get that.
Yeah. But then again, like I'm not huge on movies anyway. Like I don't watch a lot of films. Lately, I'll watch a horror film, that's fine, but it's mostly TV for me.
What's the last horror film you watched?
I wonder if you're trying to get at me watching It Chapter 2, but I haven't had time yet.
That's okay. So
Because
what
every
is
time
the
I
last?
say like I'm gonna watch it during the day with all the lights on and the sun streaming through, but then I never have time during the day, so I still haven't gotten to it. But the last horror movie, oh no, I'm blanking. Maybe Tyler can weigh in because we always watch together. So if he's still there, you can let us know. But
Okay. Tyler, you're being called
I
to the
know,
carpet.
I know.
Oh, what?
Happy Death Day,
Oh.
and then the sequel as well.
Okay. Did you like those?
I did, and I know they're not like fantastic, but I had a lot of fun with them.
The cheesy kind of like cornball horror I'm into as well. Like it doesn't have to be straight up gore, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be like Michael Myers slasher serial killer, right? It
Yes.
can be kind of something that's a little cheesy and has comedy in it. I'm down with that as well. Yeah, I'll 100%.
I really liked the lead in that. Like I thought she did. Tyler,
Yeah.
that's true. I did love them. I really did. I don't know why. Like we watched the first one day, and then I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I was like, we have to watch the sequel tomorrow. Like we have to. And I was like waiting for Tyler to be ready because I was like, I have to. The second one, it's not a horror. It's more like a sci-fi. It's more like Back to the Future with a little bit of death. But yeah. I don't know.
Well,
I thought the lead was a lot of fun. It was an interesting concept.
I enjoyed those films, so I'm with you on that. Now, I will tell you on It Chapter 2, it did not, and I've told you this, so this is for people watching as well. It did not scare me as much as Chapter 1.
As much.
So, right. Now, there are some jump scares and there are some things that happen in the second half that can be a little traumatizing, but they're kind of few and far between.
Yeah, there's a clown in it, Mells. There's a killer clown. It can be traumatizing.
Do you not see this?
I know. And your coffee cup. I know.
Yeah. He doesn't bother me. He's like my best friend. He's all over my office.
It's a portrait.
Yeah, there is. I've got all the movie posters, all of it. But just so you know, you'll be fine if you watch it in the daytime with the lights on and the blinds drawn. Like, just do the whole number, and you'll enjoy it. I think you will. I like Chapter 1 better because it is scarier to me, but Chapter 2 has its own special place. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. I've heard that, though, that a lot of people did like Chapter 1 a little bit better. And I mean, it definitely scared me, but I really enjoyed the story.
See, the story to me, a lot of people, and sorry not to get off on a Stephen King like tangent here, because I also have my loser lover sign here. But
well, and all the Stephen King books.
Well, that too. But that story is one of my favorites, and it's just because it is the innocence of childhood taken away by something very scary, and then following you into adulthood, and then the coming back together of that and trying to fight against that evil again. I love that entire concept. So that's why it's just always going to have a special place in my heart. It might not be my all-time favorite novel of his, but it'll always have a special place in my heart. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that they redid it because I was like traumatized by that miniseries when I was a kid. But I bet if I went back and watched it would not be anything near what the remake was.
No, it's honestly not as scary, but listen, we're along the same lines age-wise. So yes, like when it came out in the miniseries in the early 90s, it traumatized me, and I just couldn't get over it for a very long time. Had no business watching it, but I did it anyway. And yeah, I'm glad that they redid it, and I'm glad that they took it, to the next level. So
yeah. All right, well, this is the Damn Fine TV happy hour.
Yes, sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I did
I'm
maybe
the
get
one that
on
asked
that
about a movie.
tangent.
Okay.
Thanks for reeling me back in, girl.
That's all right. I'm the one that asked about the movie in the first place, so it's fine. Okay, so Michelle from Dead to Me.
Yes.
Have you watched Santa Clarita Diet?
I have not.
Okay, because she plays a character, the same actress plays a character in Santa Clarita that is, she's a cop, and she's like, they kind of have to constantly evade her, but also keep friendly with her so that she doesn't like get onto their trail. Like, I don't know if you know anything about that show. Like, they're one of them is a zombie, and that's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hold on, I'm making a note right now.
I'm actually surprised that you haven't seen it. It's like,
okay,
it's
honestly,
a zombie comedy.
I didn't know it was a zombie comedy. I thought it was about diets, and I was like, I'm not interested in watching.
No. Well, I mean, it's their diet, but like, yeah.
Okay, now I get it. Okay, well, that's going straight up to the top of the list then.
It's really funny.
Okay.
But yeah, so the same actress plays this like character that, I don't know. So then I was just getting the vibes of that, and I was like, does Judy need to be careful, or is this a genuine interest? Like, I'm here for it. I think they have really nice chemistry. I think they make a cute couple, but I'm just like worried that, I don't know.
There might be a twist with that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I get always worried when a new character is introduced and it's like a budding, really fast friendship, because I always think, ooh, there's something that's going to happen that it worries me just a bit. So,
well, and there's that guy from season 1. Yes, a zomcom.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using that in my vocabulary. Thank you.
We need more zomcoms. I think they're so good.
We need them.
But there was also that relationship that she had in season 1, Judy, with like the cop. So
yeah. Ooh, and that didn't turn out that well.
Different. No, it did not.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Last question. This is like a fun one, but the Holy Harmonies. So this is like the choir that the youngest son is in at church.
Yes.
Do we think it's better or worse than the Fright Club from Chilling Adventures?
Okay, that's an excellent question, first of all. Second of all, I think it's better, and it's only because they're not doing cheesy remakes. Please don't make me bring up My Sharona again. And they're actually like dancing, and it's funny, and it's not cheesy in my opinion. Yeah. So it's better for me. I
legitimately think they have more talent than all 4 of the kids in the Fright Club, unfortunately.
How many times have I told you that Harvey has no business playing a guitar? That's just the end of it. We don't even have to go into that, okay?
He's like, let me say this. One thing about Harvey, he is the equivalent to James in Twin Peaks.
100%. Although I will say that, gosh, this is going to be terrible. I'm going to say it anyway because whatever. He's not as hard on the eyes.
As James is?
As James is. I really hate saying that in that actor. I'm sorry. It is not anything personal, but James is just not my cup of tea.
I mean,
it's very rough.
Not in season 1 and season 2. I think he ages nicely. He's not so bad in season 3. It's nice to see him smile in season 3 because like James Hurley never smiles. But yeah, no. I think Harvey is a little easier to look at. You're right.
Yes. And I will say this about James in season 3, and we'll obviously be talking about this more on the podcast, but you're right about that. And I don't know if it was the motorcycle accident that made him perhaps maybe a little more likable, because at first I was like, no, not James. But then I kind of was like, are you getting a soft spot for him a little bit? Because he did do a little like coy smile, and I was like, that's not that bad. Okay, James, I'm gonna giving you a second chance. Okay,
it's also the fact that Shelley says he's cool, and Shelley is kind of cool. So if Shelley thinks he's cool, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
You're right. It's conflicting, feelings there.
It's a lot. Okay, so those are all my questions for Dead to Me. I think that's all I really had to say, because I don't want to get too much into spoilers, and like we only saw the first 5 episodes, so I don't know. Did you have anything else to say about it?
No, I mean, just obviously that I'm loving it. These were great questions because I hadn't thought about a lot of these. But yeah, what I really enjoy the most is the complexity of Jen and Judy's relationship and everything they went through in season 1. And at the end of season 1, Jen hated Judy and was just on the brink of, destroying her life, right? And then all of that happens with Steve, and she needs Judy again. And then that just rekindles the fact that they are really good together. And you're right, like the scenes with the two of them are just, I mean, they're some of my favorite TV that I've watched, and that's saying a lot. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up their relationship, because like, I think you're right, but I also like that the show is not making them like 100% all in with each other either.
Yeah.
Not like buddy. Like Jen still needs her space, and Judy is still like kind of wounded about that. But like, I just think that, there was consequences to the fact that Judy was lying to Jen. I think that's important. And another one of those reasons that like the twin stuff and the more dead bodies and the lies and all that, it just like gets grounded in the fact that the stakes are real. Like these women are actually dealing with murder. So
something very real. Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Yeah. All
awesome.
right. Well, so now we can answer some like random questions about TV if you're ready.
I'm ready. I can't wait to see what you've picked out.
I know. It's going to be funny if we pick the same ones. And
that was a big list.
What's that?
I said that was a big list, but wouldn't surprise me if we did pick the same thing.
Well, so I picked 3, and then I wrote down like a bunch of extras. So did you?
I picked 3. I didn't write down extras, but I was like, let me get one more in here.
Just in case, But then, I wrote down a bunch of extras just in case. But, and people that are watching, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Feel free to answer the questions that we ask as well. Like, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So,
100%.
Mells, go first. Go for it.
All right. Your favorite title sequence?
That's one of mine.
Oh!
Okay. But I had a tie. I couldn't pick. And it's bad. But it's a freeway tie. Okay, American Horror Story. It's different every year. They always add fun new elements. They always like make it work for the season and the themes. There's only one season that like loses all points for not having like basically any intro, which is Roanoke. But besides that, they're always so much fun. The other one is The Americans, which I know you haven't seen yet, but just the music that accompanies the visuals, I don't know, it just all works really nicely together. It just like, it gets you hyped for every episode.
Yeah.
And then the final one was Stranger Things. I think what they did with the music, but also making like the title sequence, like the actual font, the feel of it, really feel like it was done in the 80s. It just works so nicely. And these are 3 that the reason that they tied is because I never skip them. These are title sequences that I will always, always watch. And I cannot believe that I didn't fucking put Twin Peaks on the list, because I don't skip that one either. Wow.
I don't skip that one either. Yeah. Okay, well, I have 2, and one of ours matches. I'm going to give you a wild guess which one that is.
American Horror Story.
Yes, it is. Okay, I have all the same points as you. American Horror Story, it's the theme music, okay? And it's different, it's slightly tweaked, and some go way out, like 1984 had a totally different feel to it.
Yeah.
But the small tweaks between most of the seasons I really enjoy. the Freak Show had the carnival type,
Yes.
theme music. And then obviously the sequence, the credits themselves, I love everything about it. And Roanoke did not have one. That was, I felt like, was a fail, but I think obviously they did it because it was a TV show in a TV show. And all right, I'm gonna let that one.
It was purposeful.
pass.
There was a reason for it.
Yes,
So, yeah.
yes. My other one is a show that I don't know if you've actually watched, but Dexter.
I
And
haven't.
what I enjoyed about the title sequence in Dexter is also the music. I'm in love with their theme song, but also every season it was like just a montage of him making his breakfast. And I found that to be so relatable because he's a serial killer. But he makes breakfast like all the rest of us. And
Just
so,
like everyone else. Yeah.
exactly. I never skipped those credit sequences, and I just loved them. So that was the two that I had. I'm not surprised that we agreed on American Horror Story, though.
No. Was he making different breakfasts, or was it always the same?
I think in the later seasons he mixed up, like, because he lived in Miami, Florida. And so some of the oranges were like blood oranges. And I think sometimes it was like a regular orange. So it would be just small, or the coffee would be made a little different. But overall, it stayed kind of consistent. But just every so often, there would be this slight differences that you wouldn't catch it if you didn't have like them memorized like I did, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I really like that, because what I thought you were going to say, it was just like a montage of him like cleaning up after a body or something that you would associate with that kind of show. But I really like
that. And that, exactly, like that's what I love about it, is that it's like every morning he eats the same breakfast.
Sure, you got to eat.
Which maybe is a psychopath thing. I don't eat the same thing for breakfast every morning.
Same thing, yeah. I mean, you're either, I guess, a dog or a psychopath. I don't know.
That's true. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Yeah. You want to read it?
Yeah. Amelia said True Detective. Also, yes, that was a great opening sequence. Sharp Objects. The music and visuals. Loved that the music changed each time on Sharp Objects.
Oh, yeah.
I totally didn't. I didn't remember that, to be honest with you.
I forgot that, honestly, yeah.
I love that, though, because it changed every episode.
Yeah.
So, like, what we're talking about is, like, each season, it had slight variations, but, like, changing for each episode is pretty cool.
Yeah. Good picks, Amelia.
I know. Great job. I
wonder if one of them is picked by not you, but maybe your beau. The first one.
True Detective.
Curious.
Uh-oh.
Leftovers is a good one. You know what? And honestly, for the last season, for season 3, the way that changed for every episode, that was amazing.
That's true. That's true. And I love The Leftovers. I can't believe I didn't really think about that. But she said no, actually.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I love it.
Okay, well, before we move on to another one, then, do you have a favorite American Horror Story intro?
Ooh.
That's tough, eh?
That's really tough. Oh. Okay. All right. It's gonna be
a 9-way tie.
Okay. It's going to be one of my kind of lower ranked seasons, but the title sequence, or the opening credits, were amazing to me because they combined two elements. So Apocalypse had my favorite opening. And it's because they took the elements from Coven and they took the elements from Murder House, and then they smashed it up and then put overlays of apocalyptic, images and, fire and things like that.
Bombs.
So bombs, all that fun stuff. So I have to say that's probably my favorite, and it's simply because it combines the two with its own little twist on it, and none of the other seasons have done that.
That's a good point. I was going to say either Murder House or Coven. I think those are the creepiest ones. I think Murder House might win. Although when you say Apocalypse, the first thing I think of is like the view from the bunker with everybody like all the masks on, which is super creepy.
But. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny you say murder house because for me, Coven was a bit creepier, and it's because there was like it was like the hanging witches in one scene that
True.
that made me feel super uneasy. And then it was that weird creature thing that we never ever got what it was, even though I think that might be the things that were in the bushes and stuff in Apocalypse. Just my tenfold theories here. But I don't think when he was putting Coven out, he was thinking about Apocalypse. I don't think. So
I don't know. I love Ryan Murphy. I love the work that he does, but I don't think he thinks that far in advance.
Exactly. Yeah,
Another
I don't think
showrunner, maybe, but not this one.
Yeah,
no.
He's pretty in the moment guy.
Yeah, exactly. Which is fine. He creates American Horror Story, and it's great. So
yes. Mwah. We'll take it.
Okay. Well, how about this one? What is your favorite new show? Like new show of, I don't know, let's say of like the TV season. So like since September when all the new pilots were coming out.
Okay. That's a tough one because the only new things, well, I'm torn because the only new things that I watched were Watchmen, okay, which is a mini series. It's not going to ever get a season 2, and then I watched Outsider. I guess out of those 2 newer ones that I watched, I would have to say it would be Watchmen. But again, it's not going to get any more seasons, so I don't know if I could. Yeah, I was just thinking, I don't know if I could call it like TV series, but just put miniseries in there. And I think Watchmen was like one of the best things I've ever watched. And that obviously came out, in the fall. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's still new, I think, this season. I have to catch up on that. I've still only seen the first episode, and I know how much you would love to talk about it. So I got to watch it.
Yes. Oh, you have to.
But I was wondering if you were going to answer this, though. Maybe you'll change your mind. I don't know. But how about I am not okay
with this? I was about to say, okay. Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's fine. I like everybody that I know that has seen Watchmen thought it was so good. So that makes sense.
I'm stuck though, because that fits more of the mold of like a TV series. So
we hope, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it still doesn't have a season 2 renewal, but fingers crossed.
But things are a little right now, so that
yeah.
I'm gonna have to say this. If I say miniseries, I'm going to say
Mells. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Oh no. Hey guys watching, can you hear either Mells or I? There you are.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I don't know.
Yay.
Well,
okay, sorry.
There?
So what were you saying?
I am so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, don't know what happened. So I guess if I'm going to go with miniseries, it would be Watchmen. But if I am going to go with TV, obviously it'll be I'm Not Okay With This. And we'll just see if we get another season. So
I know, I hope so. It was such a good new show. Like, I mean, we spent an episode of the podcast talking about it. It had such a good pace to it. It was only 7 episodes, right? 7 or 8? I think it was 7.
Yes,
like, it had an odd number. Yeah.
They were only 30 minutes long. So I was like, this is too short for me.
I know, but it was also like, I think it was perfect at that amount. Like for the kind of story it was telling, it felt very like propulsive and it moved along really nicely. Sophia Lillis is so good. So Amelia, if you haven't seen it, Sophia Lillis plays the younger version of Amy Adams in Sharp Objects. Just because you brought up Sharp Objects this episdsode. So,
and we can't forget our main guy,
Wyatt.
Yeah. Well, Stanley Wyatt. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just love that kid, and I'm sorry. I know I'm way too old. I could be his mom, all right? But gosh, I love that kid so. And he's in it. chapter
He
1
is
and
so
2.
fantastic.
He's the cutest thing. I can't get over it. So
Yeah. And they have such nice chemistry together, honestly. Like they have so much fun. I don't know, the acting of it. Like, I don't know. There's something about the scene. It's gross to me. I know you probably love it, but she's standing there and like she's popping her leg pimples, and it's just like, it's so weird, but it feels so real. Like, I can see a teenager doing that. I'm sure I did something weird like that when I was a teenager, like with all your body insecurities and stuff like that. And to like put it in a television episode, I don't know. I really enjoyed just all those little details.
yeah, it's relatable. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the main thing is, and we talked about this on the podcast that we dedicated to this series, is that, or this season, is that everything was super relatable. I mean, obviously not the superpowers part of it, but life as a high school, especially girl, like it is not easy. It is full of a bunch of bullshit, and I loved the relatability of it. That was the main pull for me. And then also the superpowers came in like second for me. So
Because you wish you had the superpowers.
100%.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like we talked about that on the show where we were
Yes,
like,
we
as
did.
a kid, we tried to like manifest our superpowers. And
I bought spell books. I was like, today's the day. I'm going to create a spell over this entire city. And I would just sit there over and over and it would not happen.
just concentrating so hard, you just like, ugh.
So hard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you ready
All
for the
right.
next question?
Yes, I am ready.
So I picked fave childhood show.
Dang, childhood show. Man.
I thought
Okay.
this might be a stumper.
If you have an answer, you go for it, because I think I might have to think about mine.
So mine is going to be super weird.
Okay. I can't wait.
And I have to contribute all thanks to my mother. But it was Tales from the Crypt.
That's amazing.
We would watch it I feel like it was Saturday night. We would watch it every Saturday night. She would let me stay up late. We would catch, because it came on pretty late. And we would catch it. And it
Yeah, I
never
would guess it
scared
would be a
me.
later show. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was. It would never scare me. And I had like this affection, not like a crush or anything, but this affection for the Crypt Keeper. I found her to be funny, and I don't know, just the whole thing. And then obviously the stories were super messed up, and I loved every bit of it. I mean, it's kind of like, and I didn't catch this when it was first out, but Creep Show, right? Like Creep Show is back now, and Creep Show has a big Tales from the Crypt vibe for me.
Okay.
That's why I'm loving that so much right now. And also it's Stephen King. So, there's that.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool. So, like, do you think that's maybe where your love for horror kind of started, or at least like the seed was planted?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, my mom, huge Stephen King fan. She's got all of his novels as well. And I remember point blank when I started building my collection back here, I asked her, I was like, can I just have some of your hardbacks? And she was like, no, you cannot. And not going to happen, right? And I was like, oh, all right. So I'll just build my own collection. But she let me read, Stephen King when I probably wasn't old enough to do it, but that's fine. I came out okay, I think. But I was watching Stephen King adaptations, and then we had Tales from the Crypt, and yeah, like I had to contribute a lot of my horror stuff to my mom. And it's funny because she's a little bit older now, and she texted me the other day and she was like, are you watching Creep Show? And I was like, you still got it, Mom.
Aww.
Yeah. And I was like,
that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, Mells, let's just add like another parallel of how we are just living the same lives. But like my mom is a huge Stephen King fan.
What?
Huge Stephen King fan. And she's been telling me since I was young to read the Dark Tower series. In fact, she used to tell me the Dark Tower series, like I'm sure a very like abridged and like sort of, I don't know, like kiddie version of it, but like as a bedtime story.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
There's another thing. Okay.
And I figured you would love, though, the Dark Tower series because there's a lot of, like, mythical. And I mean, obviously he draws the 3 tarot cards and things like that. So I always think of you now when I'm going back through the Dark Tower. I'm like, Jasmine would love, you know, this so much.
Still making my way through Wizard and Glass, but I'm enjoying it. And it's funny because, like, going back to when I read the first book was so many years ago now. Like, I wasn't even that into tarot yet. And then now when I look back, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, okay, this is like all based on like a tarot draw, which is
all
so
of it, which is amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, favorite childhood show, like the first one that comes to mind is just Sailor Moon. That's the only one that keeps like coming back to me. And
I love it.
It's funny because like I'm not a huge fan of anime. Like I don't have anything wrong with it. It's just like not really my cup of tea. But Sailor Moon, I don't know. And I think that's where some of my interest in like, I mean, I think it like died down like for a number of years, and then I've come back to it. But the idea that like the planets have powers and stuff, and I mean, because there was like a Sailor Scout for every planet, and the moon, obviously, right? But yeah, so that was a fun show. And I remember, this is so random, but like the shadows of the Sailor Scouts, it always kind of like, to me when I was a kid, it looked like they were naked because they were wearing these like skin suit kind of things. And so I remember when I would go to the beach and I would see my shadow and I'd be in like a bathing suit and I would see my shadow, I'd be like, yes, I'm a Sailor Scout. Like, it's just so weird.
I love that. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Jasmine. That's amazing.
It's so dorky.
Well, Tyler wants to know who
was your favorite. I mean, probably Sailor Moon, but I think I like Sailor Jupiter.
Oh.
Did you ever watch it?
I've seen a few episodes, but no, I didn't really get into it like religiously. So
yeah,
something I could probably do nowadays though, because I mean it's still out there. I think it might be on Netflix. So
I mean, I don't know what it's like in terms of ages, but maybe your son would be into it. I don't know. Like,
oh yeah, but no, I mean I will still watch like DuckTales.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's fun.
And it's mainly because of him, because he likes it now too. So yeah, I don't mind introducing him over to Sailor Moon at all. So
yeah, I mean, I don't remember what it's like. I don't remember like what it's appropriate for, but I think some stuff will go right over a 4-year-old's head anyway. So
yeah, I trust that he'll be fine. Like I watch some of these movies nowadays, and I'm like, that's a joke meant for an adult that a kid will never get, and I appreciate that.
Like every Pixar film,
Yes, pretty much. Yes, exactly.
Okay, Amelia, I see you were saying yes, Sailor Moon. So you watched that as well. If you did, who was your favorite Sailor Scout?
Oh yeah,
gotta know. Okay, I have another question.
All right,
right, because we both had favorite title sequence. Okay, so this will probably wrap us up because we're almost out of time. But saddest character death.
Ooh. Oh no.
Oh, good choices. I like Sailor Venus as well. Yeah. Sailor Pluto didn't come until later, but it's a good choice.
Oh my gosh. Okay, saddest character death. Oh my gosh, there are so many.
I know, right? Do you want me to go? I've got mine ready.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay.
It might be one that I have to pick up on our next live, to be honest with you.
That's fair. We'll have it to be continued, a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Cliffhanger.
Okay. Amelia, so true. So true. Did you watch Veronica Mars, Mells?
No, I did not.
Oh, that's right. Because I brought up Veronica's dad when we were watching Westworld. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I won't say anything about that. So mine is like, quick heads up, if anybody's watching that hasn't finished Breaking Bad, like, go away now. Thank you so much for watching. Hank.
Yeah.
The saddest. And I
might actually shed a tear. Hold on one second. No, seriously, like.
I'm so sorry to trigger you, Mells.
That was one of the hardest deaths.
It's so sad. So when I was picking questions earlier, this was the one that came to mind really quickly. And I was like, okay, I remember it feeling sad, but like, I wonder if that still resonates. So I looked up the scene of a blubbering baby watching it. Like, it is just so emotional. And like, it's really the first moment where you see that Walt is really realizing like all that this means, and it's 2 episodes out from the series finale, so it's a little late, Walt, but the way he falls to his knees when Hank dies is just, it's so sad.
I've got chill bumps right now because I can't believe that didn't automatically come to my mind. I will say this, and I do want this to be continued, only because I want to think about it for a while. But in the same vein of Breaking Bad, I'd have to say that Hank, but not only Hank, but when, big spoiler here, but when Walt dies too.
Really?
Like that, I don't know, there was something poetic about his death for me.
Yeah.
And I had a lot more emotion than I thought I would actually really have for Walt dying. I mean, I knew that was what was going to have to happen. But then when it happened, I was like, wow. And there's a question in these about like the best series finale ever. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it's Breaking Bad. It's the best series finale. Oh gosh, I could watch that a million gazillion times, and it still would be
also to be continued. We'll see what you say after Twin Peaks season 3, because it could be the series finale. That could be the series finale. So
give me something to look forward to there.
Yeah, because I almost wrote that question down, and then I was like, no, we have to wait.
Yeah, I didn't write that one down either, because I was like, well, I don't know. I'm watching a couple of things right now to where I don't know if it's going to affect me. So
yeah.
Aww.
Amelia, everyone on Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, I feel like there's a death like every episode, isn't there? Yeah. I don't watch Grey's Anatomy, but I hear from people that it's like, just constant character death.
I don't watch it either, but I do feel like, every time I see some posts after this show, it's always like, no, I'm crying, and I'm like, oh.
Or like, creator weighs in on shocking death. And it's like every episode.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't think I want to watch it. So
it's also so many seasons in, and I don't think I can make the commitment at this point.
True. It's
a long haul.
Yeah. Oh.
All right.
It's been amazing.
Well, so stay tuned for next time when we'll find out who Mells' saddest character death is.
I know.
We're going to have to leave you on pins and needles here.
You might have to. Yeah, you're going to have to.
George was the only one that mattered.
Oh, okay.
R.I.P. George.
R.I.P.
I love
you, George. R.I.P. All right. Well, this has been fantastic. I love doing this with you.
I know. It's so much fun. Thank you, everyone who joined us. We really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone who's watching later. Hope you enjoy.
Yes. We'll be up for 24 hours. Cheers.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm getting a countdown now. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be up for 24 hours. Watch again.
Love it.
Oh. Bad joke, Tyler. Bad joke.
Oh, Tyler.
All right, yeah, and I mean, if you guys are Twin Peaks fans, come join us for Twin Peaks Tuesdays starting this Tuesday. We're going to be talking about season 3 of Twin Peaks.
Cannot wait.
So stoked.
Yes, we love you too.
Yes, thank you for coming, Jen. All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.